Hey guys, so today we are going to continue adding decimal tenths, but this time we're just going to work with a little bit bigger numbers. As you can see, we're not just doing zeros and single digit numbers. Now we're going to be working with numbers that go into the tens, but we're still focused on those tenths place. Remember the tens, if you see where my cursor is, tens is there. Tenths is after the decimal. They're very small, smaller than one. So for these top two, it's kind of the same thing we did yesterday. Like, how many tenths would you need to get to the next rounded whole? Except this time we're at 9.3, 9 and 3 tenths, plus whatever, equals 10 wholes. So how many tenths would we need to add to 9 and 3 tenths to make this 10 wholes, to make this a rounded 10? Because we're at 9, the next whole number is 10. But we don't have just 9, because if we did have just 9, we would add 9 plus 1 equals 10. But now we have 9 and 3 tenths. So it's a little bit bigger than 9. And how many tenths do we need to add to that to get to 10? Well, it would be 9 3 tenths plus 7 tenths equals 10 wholes. And so that same kind of method of adding whatever tenth we need to make this number the next whole. It's the same even when we have like a number in the tens, like 14. So 14 plus 14.5, 14 and 5 tenths plus what? Plus how many tenths equals 15 wholes. Well, that's easy. We have 14.5. If I wanted to get to the next whole number, which would be 15, I need to add 5 tenths. So that's going to be the same. That's not changing. It's just that now we're dealing with numbers that are now they're in the tens place, but we're still adding tenths. And so what that looks like down here when we do the addition with the carrying the 1, well, let's look at it. So we have 9 and 7 tenths plus 1 and 6 tenths. So it's just, remember, just like adding regular numbers. When we're adding decimal numbers, we start all the way to the right and we add down. So what's 7 plus 6? 7 plus 6 is 13. So we're going to take that 3, and then we're going to carry the 1 up here. But what this 3 really is like, because this isn't just 7 and 6. This is 7 tenths plus 6 tenths. And if we did that, let me just pull these out over here for a second. What is 7 tenths plus 6 tenths? You may already know it. Maybe you can do it in your head already. But if I just this is just for an example. If I took out just the 7 tenths and the 6 tenths, so what's 7 plus 6? 13. Or 7 tenths plus 6 tenths is 13 tenths. But we take those 3 tenths out, but we still have 10 tenths left over. And if you remember, 10 tenths is 1 whole. So those other 10 tenths became 1 whole. And now we add 1 plus 0 is 1. Remember the decimal, always bring that decimal down. So it's 1 and 3 tenths. So look right here. Look at this. What we did was we pulled the 7 tenths and these 6 tenths out just to see what it looks like. So we know 7 tenths plus 6 tenths equals 1 and 3 tenths. So that's why this decimal here, that's why the tenths place is 3. And we take that 1 whole that we made, and we bring it up and over to the ones, because it's no longer a tenth. It's a 1. It's a 1 whole. So now we have, in the little, when we pulled these out, these didn't have any whole numbers. They were just 0 because we just pulled out the tenths. But when we actually do it in this problem, we're taking that 1 whole and we're adding it to the other wholes we have, which are 9 and 1. So 1 plus 9 is 10, plus another 1 is 11. So remember, 11, so that there's 1 in the ones place, and we made another 10. So now we have 11.3, or 11 and 3 tenths. And so let's look at it with this one now. 23 and 5 tenths plus 0 and 9 tenths, or just 9 tenths. So again, let me pull, just to look at what it looks like, I'm going to pull out 5 tenths and 9 tenths right here. So we see we have 23, but we also have 5 tenths. We have 0 here, so there's no whole numbers here. So just 9 tenths. But what's 5 tenths plus 9 tenths? So what's 5 plus 9? 5 plus 9 is, we know, 14, but 5 tenths plus 9 tenths is 14 tenths. So those 4 tenths stay in the tenths place. We have another 10 tenths, which become a 1. And we carry that down. 1 plus 0 is 1. So just 5 tenths plus 9 tenths is 1 and 4 tenths. And that's what we do here. So 5 plus 9, 14 tenths. But we take that 10 tenths that we have, and it goes up to the ones place. And now we have in the ones place 1 plus 3 plus 0. That's 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 0 is 4. Make sure to bring that decimal down. And then we still have the tens place right here. We have 2 plus nothing, 0, is 2. So we have 24 and 4 tenths. So on your work today, it's going to look like this again in the charts. And some people weren't carrying if they made a 1 with the tenths, they weren't carrying it over. Make sure you do that, because that counts as part of your work. I need to see that to know that you understand that we're making new wholes. So again, we have, for an example problem, we have 1.7 plus 1.4, 1 and 7 tenths plus 1 and 4 tenths. And so let's add them together. 7 tenths plus 4 tenths, that equals 11 tenths. We bring that 1 from the 11 tenths over here. But we had that 1 tenth still. We still have 10 tenths that become a new 1. And so then we have 1. In the ones place, we have 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So our answer is 3 and 1 tenth. Or another way to think about that is, like, if we look at the problem, 1.7 plus 1.4. Imagine we just added the whole numbers first. So 1 plus 1 equals, we know that's 2. 1 plus 1 is 2. But then plus 7 tenths plus 4 tenths. We had 7 tenths and 4 tenths together. We just got that. That's 11 tenths, or 1.1 equals 3.1. You don't have to do that. That's just to show you. So I'll leave this example on there. And some of these will be in the tens place, so that means we'll just have another place value over here. And it's the same thing, same way you add any kind of numbers. So I hope this makes sense. If you have any questions, I'll be on Google Classroom, and good luck with this.